Multnomah County Central Library in downtown Portland is back in the news this week after a man was stabbed and beaten with skateboards outside the library on Monday. That incident happened just a few weeks after a deadly shooting across the street from the library last month. Small business owners in downtown want city leaders to create more security around the library.
I think it's really hard just because of a lot of small businesses, including myself. We are the ones who kind of have to witness it a lot. But I think it's also hard on the community because it gives this negative connotation to downtown.
Well, the library says it's already made efforts to address the situation, doubling its number of security officers, adding 24/7 surveillance, and they say they've also increased the frequency of cleaning outside. Adding weapons detection systems is also under consideration. These issues at the library have led to a lot of back and forth between the city of Portland, Multnomah County, and local business advocates. Blair Best and our team at The Story covered more on this, including a response from the Portland Metro Chamber President and the chair of Multnomah County. You can watch that full report on KGW.com and KGW+.
In Northwest Portland, surveillance video shows a stabbing suspect pacing outside as officers surround his home. Police say that man stabbed 2 people yesterday morning, then hid inside the home for several hours before he eventually surrendered. The suspect's partner told us that he was having a mental health crisis.
Regardless of what he's accused of or not, I'm here telling everybody and the police, that this is a crisis. And it's not his normal personality.
A neighbor says that the suspect got into a confrontation with people living in tents on the street. We're working to confirm that with police.
Law enforcement arrested 12 people in Battleground last weekend as part of a crackdown on child exploitation. The State Patrol's Missing and Exploited Children Task Force led this effort, teaming up with local and federal partners. Police are still reviewing these cases, though, and are asking anyone with information to come forward. We also have an update this morning on a pair of deadly shootings in Salem that we covered as breaking news yesterday here on Sunrise. Police say these shootings happened about an hour apart. So the first one was in southeast Salem shortly after midnight yesterday morning. That's when someone called police about a crash, and officers say they found a 30-year-old man at the crash scene with multiple gunshot wounds. He later died at the hospital. About an hour later, at 1:30, several people reported hearing gunshots at a homeless camp at Wallace Marine Park. Police say a 60-year-old man at the camp also died at the hospital. We spoke to another man at the park who says he knew the victim.
I saw him go by. I heard the shots. Somebody came running up the trail and said to call the police, and the police came.
Investigators don't think that these 2 shootings are connected, and so far, there's no word on any suspects.
Also in Salem, a tribute to lives touched by cancer and a call to fight the disease. These 2,000 bags at Riverfront Park are part of the Lights of Hope Across America movement, sponsored by the American Cancer Society. Cancer Action Network. Each bag honors a cancer survivor or someone who lost their life. Organizer Kathy Otley lost her parents and sisters to 4 different types of cancer, and she's a 7-time survivor of skin cancer.
I love talking to people and hearing their stories. And the one thing I always share with everyone is it's so important to be screened. If you're not screened, we can't find cancer early and we don't have a better outcome.
Over the years, Otley has raised more than $25,000 for cancer research. Her goal is to help end cancer as we know it for everyone.
All right, if you'd like some restaurant recommendations in Portland, we think this guy on the screen right there is a good guy to ask. We're talking about 3-time James Beard Award-winning chef Gregory Gourdet. He's the chef owner at Cannes. He's also the man who helped take Departure to great heights a few years back. Gourdet shared 3 local restaurants that are among his absolute favorites. So here's a look. First off, we've got Akati, which serves West African food over on Southeast Division. Then we have Nodo Guro, a Japanese restaurant in downtown Portland. And finally, Padi, a Thai restaurant that's over on Southeast 28th. 3 possibilities to check out, all recommended highly by Chef Gregory Gourdet.
Definitely gonna have to check those out.
If you had that lifestyle where you just picked fancy restaurants every night, this is a great place to live, right? I mean, how would you like to go to those types of restaurants every night?
No, a lot of people say, like food critics around the country, say that Portland is one of the hot spots in the U.S. when it comes to food.
For sure.
Fantastic. Love seeing Gregory smile on our show, even if it's just a picture. Here's a look at our low pressure system. It has moved up to our north. this guy, and it's taken the rain and thunderstorm chance with it. So we're now looking at some nice quiet weather. It will be a hot afternoon as we get back up close to 90 degrees. Some live cameras for you and what's going to be a quiet day across Oregon. Here's the Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles, 64 degrees. Light winds out there. You folks will reach up into the 90s. Here's a pretty shot from the Mount Hood, Oregon Resort. This is up in Welches off of Highway 26 on the way up to Mount Hood. Mostly sunny start up there in the Cascades. And here's downtown Portland. Partly cloudy skies, we'll call it right now. Winds are calm, temperature 63. So we have a nice quiet weather day upcoming. 62 in Tigard right now, 61 in Wilsonville. Salem is in the 50s, and Corvallis, good morning, 55 is your temperature. Weather map is pretty quiet. We have morning cloudiness at the beach. We think there will be at least partial clearing in spots there. Temperatures in the 60s. We're watching the chance of maybe some shower activity over the Blues, but not really expected to turn out to be much. We've got 80s and 90s statewide, so kind of a typical warm to hot summer afternoon, but nothing crazy. Portland, 89 today, 90 tomorrow. And then that shower chance on Saturday is all but gone. It really is looking like we'll just get some cloudiness thrown our way. A high of 81, so more comfortable outside. 83 on Sunday, all dry. And then all dry, mostly sunny, and 86 on Labor Day Monday. So the forecast is looking good. Back to you.
Ron, thanks for that. We pick it up with that traffic alert in Salmon Creek. A reminder, as we've been mentioning here for the last little while, the Clark County Sheriff's Office investigating a serious injury crash here on Northeast 20th Avenue right now. The road is closed between 139th and 144th. Reporter Thomas Schultz is headed to the scene. We're working to get more details, but in the meantime, your traffic solution to get around this, 10th Avenue to the west or perhaps 29th Avenue to the east. The Sheriff's Office saying this is likely to be a lengthy closure. Back to the freeway drive. I-5 from Clark County, slow and steady. That lineup starts right around SR 500, and it's like that down through North Portland. This is down through Rosa Parks Way. We'll switch gears real quick. Door number 3 takes us over to Wilsonville. I-5 northbound traffic beginning to pick up there as well. And the inbound Sunset, Highway 26, is up to 16 minutes. China, that is your drive in from Brookwood Parkway to I-405.
Thank you, Chris.
Uncertainty really is the theme for 2025.
Still to come on Sunrise, job seekers having a hard time getting hired. Why economists say younger workers trying to break into the job market are hitting a wall. Plus, Claire's, good old Claire, is finally announcing which stores it will be closing. A look at how many of them are in our area when Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
As the labor market grinds slower, the number of sectors adding jobs is narrowing.
So that leads to 2 questions. 1, what jobs are available? 2, who's getting those jobs? Reporter Karen Kafa has the answers.
As the job market slows across multiple sectors, economists note one in particular continues to grow.
Healthcare is an industry where, as the American population gets older, we should expect the demand for healthcare services to increase, and that's why we're seeing jobs growth continue very steadily in that sector.
Government jobs data for July shows healthcare and social assistance accounted for the entirety of the month's overall gains. And Laura Ulrich of the Indeed Hiring Lab says her analysis points to women in the driver's seat in those areas.
Healthcare and social assistance subsector made up almost all the job growth and from the July payroll employment report. And I thought that's got to be a high percentage of female employees. And indeed, it's almost 80% female.
Meanwhile, areas that were hot just a few years ago, like tech and finance, are peeling back. Economists have described the current state of the jobs market as no hire, no fire. Not a lot of layoffs, but employers not confident enough to hire either.
Uncertainty really is the theme for 2025. It's been a big driver for why the economy has slowed down over the course of the year, and it is probably the blocker that is going to prevent hiring from picking up through the rest of the year unless some of that uncertainty gets resolved.
Frustrated job seekers should note it's all cyclical.
Job market stagnancy and slow job market growth is going to be temporary. I think the question is, how long does that temporary state exist?
Here's a look at some of your consumer headlines. Claire has revealed a list of its stores that are closing as part of its Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Over 290 stores are on that list, including 9 stores in Oregon, one of them being the one in Washington Square Mall. Disney is suing Sling TV over its new short-term streaming passes. Disney claims the passes violate its licensing agreement. Sling announced the one-day, weekend, and week-long passes earlier this month, starting at just $5, giving users access to ESPN, Disney Channel, and more. Sling is marketing them as a way to catch one-off events without a long subscription. And the Powerball jackpot has climbed even higher after no one won last night. Darn. The next drawing is Saturday with a grand prize of $950 million or the lump sum of $428 million before taxes. And while there was no grand prize winner, 6 tickets did win at least $1 million by matching all 5 white balls.
Now, taking home over $400 million, to me, that's the sweet spot right there.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. You know, in fact, I was hoping I wouldn't win last night. I was like, oh, I don't want to win last night because I want to win Saturday night when that jackpot's even greater.
It is crazy how so many people, a chance to win $1 million. Yeah, $400 million, I'm all in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Here's a look at what we're seeing as forecasters on the satellite picture. The thunderstorm threat is over. What a wild ride we had for about 2.5 days with thunderstorms initially down in the Philomath and Corvallis area a couple mornings ago. Then yesterday we had all that action closer to Fall City and even up toward Monmouth or in proximity in Kaiser. We had the afternoon storms yesterday out toward North Plains. Anyway, that's gone as the low that produced that instability has shifted to our north. This really catches your eye. That's that weekend low we've been talking about. More on that in a moment as to whether or not we're going to get any rain from that at all. The low, as I mentioned, has shifted to our north, and the rain for the most part is north of the low. Now, there's the threat of shower activity and maybe some heavier shower spots up around Seattle if you are traveling that way today. That's where you'll get into the shower zone. But here at home, looks like we're done. We're going to be partly to mostly sunny. There's our state capital, 58 degrees. No wind out there again this morning. It's been a light wind run of days. Here's the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club out in Loa. Again, kind of partly cloudy. Temperature 63, beautiful morning to be out working or playing with no wind. And we'll go golf course to golf course. This one showing a perfectly clear sky. This is out in the gorge. This is Carson, Elk Ridge Golf Course. And with no wind to speak of, it'll be just a beautiful day to be out in the gorge today. That's looking across at the Oregon side of the mountains. Again, not much wind expected out there. Temperatures will be in the 80s. Here are the other numbers. 58 in Salem currently. PDX at 63, Kelso 62, the Dow 64, and John Day, good morning to you, 56. Here's what we're looking at. Our Futurecast model, maybe some almost frivolous type showers popping later today over the Blues. We've got cloudiness and fog this morning along the coast. Some areas might stay overcast. And then the modeling does show that we get some marine cloudiness tomorrow again to start at the beach. Here is Saturday. Now the weekend looks to be cooler. We're near 90 today and tomorrow. We get cooler temps on Saturday and quite a bit of cloudiness being thrown from that low that I showed you on satellite picture, but confidence is gaining that we will not see any rain, just some cooler temperatures and some cloudiness mainly on Saturday. So for today, it's mostly sunny, warm to hot, upper 80s, generally speaking. Southwest Washington, Longview 85, Battleground 88. Again, not much of any wind. 7-day numbers, we go 89 to 90, so a couple of just typical summer days for us on the toasty side. And then cloudiness, holding on to a slight shower chance for another weather computer model run or two, but it's really looking like the weekend's going to be dry. Some cloudiness, 81 Saturday, partly cloudy, 83 Sunday, 86 mostly sunny on Labor Day Monday, and then getting back up in some 90s the first couple of days of September. Here's Chris.
Thank you for that. We're going to get you back up to Salmon Creek, and a reminder that Northeast 20th Avenue right now remains closed for this ongoing crash investigation. The closure zone is from 139th to 144th. Your traffic solution to get around this right now, either 10th Avenue or 29th Avenue to the east. Reporter Thomas Schultz is on the scene. We're hoping to hear more from him about this crash and the investigation coming up in just a couple of minutes. Here's the live drive out of Clark County on I-5. It is slow and steady from SR 500, and that's pretty normal for this hour of a Thursday morning commute, right? Door number 3 takes us down to Wilsonville. That I-5 drive northbound getting busier as well. A quick look at our drive times. They're not in too bad a shape. The trip in from Wilsonville, 25 minutes. The drive in from Hillsborough, just under 20 right now to get you in from Brookwood Parkway to I-405. Drew?
Thank you, Chris.
There is a hole in the state budget, in the general fund balance, that has to be adjusted.
Oregon projected to lose nearly $900 million over the next 2 years, but state economists say it's not time to panic just yet. Really? Why not? An economic explanation when Sunrise, streaming live at 7 o'clock, continues in 2 minutes.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Welcome back to Sunrise. A Portland man pleaded guilty to misdemeanor charges connected to the death of a teenage girl who overdosed on fentanyl at his house. 15-year-old Lauren Dominguez and her boyfriend overdosed and died in February of 2023. They were at her boyfriend's house in Northeast Portland, owned by his dad, 52-year-old Human Ranamoon. You see him right there. He pleaded guilty to a pair of misdemeanors in court yesterday. They were frequenting a place where drugs are used. The other was endangering the welfare of a minor. The girl's parents also in court, sharing the pain that they still feel.
The failure of responsibility cost us the most precious person in our lives. Losing Lauren has broken us in ways we did not know were possible.
Ranamoon apologized in court. So as part of his plea deal, he has to undergo treatment, refrain from using drugs or alcohol, and he can't have any in his home. If he follows through with that over the next year and a half, those misdemeanor charges will be dismissed. Meanwhile, state economists project that Oregon will lose nearly $900 million over the next 2 years. KGW's Alma McCarty explains how they landed on that number and why they say it isn't cause for panic yet.
I would not view this as kind of a clarion call that we need action right now, per se, to address this. But this is telling you we potentially have a problem, and this will have to be dealt with over the course of the biennium.
That's the message Carl Riccadonna, chief economist for the state of Oregon, brought to the Legislative Committee on Finance and Revenue Wednesday morning. His team predicting that the tax cuts included in H.R. 1, or the Big Beautiful Bill, will significantly lower the income and corporate tax revenue the state takes in.
The impact is about $888 million. For this biennium. So there is a hole in the state budget, in the general fund balance that has to be adjusted based on these new developments.
This reduction in state funding, Democratic lawmakers fear, will hurt Oregonians. And they're pointing the finger at the president. Governor Tina Kotek stating more Oregon families are experiencing tougher financial situations, not by chance, but because of the economic uncertainty coming straight from the Trump administration. House Speaker Julie Fahey writing in part, today's revenue forecast confirms that Trump's economic policies are squeezing families and destabilizing our state budget. Republican lawmakers feeling differently about the tax cuts.
People will actually keep their own money. And what's crazy is the Democrats in Salem right now are saying that this is terrible.
Senate Republican leader Daniel Bonham saying Oregon's economic problems are homegrown.
The question really for Oregonians should be, was this something that literally just happened to the Oregon economy, or has this been building up from policies set forward here in Oregon?
And when it comes to the kicker, here's what state economists say Oregonians should expect.
Got a little bit smaller. Based on some disappointing tax revenues in the final months of the biennium. So there is a kicker. It's a little bit less than what it initially looked like, but the kicker will still be coming.
Again, that was Alma McCarty reporting for us this morning. Keep this in mind, too, while the state is predicted to lose out on nearly $900 million, economists say that money is essentially going to stay in our pockets, taxpayers' pockets. So, in other words, the state economy is not shrinking by $900 million. All right, having covered that, we do want to get to this breaking news story in Clark County this morning. A crash there leaves at least one person seriously hurt. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz is on the scene. He's going to have the latest on this for us with a breaking news live report in our next half hour. We'll also cover this, the sharp rebuke from Oregon's senior senator after Labor Secretary and former Oregon Congresswoman Lori Chavez-DeRemer calls for a crackdown on Portland.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
We are coming up on 7:29 now. On our Thursday morning drive, we take you live right now to the scene of breaking news in Salmon Creek, where unfortunately a serious injury crash has a section of Northeast 20th Avenue closed right now. You can see the Clark County Sheriff's Office out doing an investigation. The traffic impact at this point is the 20th is closed from 139th to 144th. Reporter Thomas Schultz is on the scene, and we will hear more from him coming up on KGW Plus in just a minute. Back to your I-5 drive. It is busy from Clark County, but not bad, not unusually slow. And the rest of our drive times are relatively in check this morning. 21 minutes right now, for instance. That gets you in from Hillsborough. Rod?
All right, Chris, thanks for that. We have a nice weather day coming up. Our thunderstorm chance that we've had ongoing the last, 2.5 days has ended, and we will be looking at partly to mostly sunny skies on this Thursday. Starting off in the 60s, we're down to 63, so that's fairly comfortable out the door. 77 degrees at noon, and I have today's high temperature getting close to 90. We actually did make it to 89 yesterday. We may do it again today, and that is your forecast.
We start the 7:30 half hour of the Sunrise Show with breaking news in Vancouver this morning. A serious crash has shut down a part of Northeast 20th Avenue.
Deputies say a truck and sedan collided just after 4 a.m. this morning near 139th Street. That crash left one person with significant injuries. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz is live at the scene right now. So Thomas, what are you seeing?
Well, guys, we're seeing that investigation into this crash begin here right behind us. I want to step off and show you a little bit of what we're seeing. You can see right here that white car obviously is what deputies are focused on here in Vancouver. Again, at least one person seriously injured, although they are calling this a homicide investigation right now. You can see deputies are taking pictures of some of the damage. Really just parts of that white sedan are all over the place along the road, up on the edge near that building right behind it as well. They've also seemingly put up a curtain right around that white sedan. Again, at least one seriously injured, but they are calling this a homicide investigation at this point in time. As you can imagine, the road here on Northeast 20th between 139th and 144th is closed. That's a 5-stretch block here. There's quite a few deputies here on scene as well, probably close to a dozen deputy vehicles, all patrolling and searching, investigating, of course, but also blocking that roadway. It doesn't seem like this investigation is going to wrap up anytime soon. Of course, they're just beginning to photograph some of the damage. They have not begun the cleanup phase from this crash. We'll continue to bring you all the updates as we learn more, as we continue to watch this unveil throughout the morning. Chris?
Thomas, thank you for that. And of course, the traffic impact around that is that while that 5-block stretch of 20th Avenue is closed, you're going to want to use maybe 10th Avenue to the west or 29th Avenue to the east. A busy area in Salmon Creek here, so those are your traffic solutions to get around that closure. The I-5 drive from Clark County has pushed down to the south here, so the end of the line is moving its way down towards the Interstate Bridge. So some good news there is the traffic is actually not all that bad on that side of town this morning. That is a live look at the sunset. Highway 26, the slow go over the Sylvan Hill. We expect that this hour of a Thursday morning commute. Right now, 25 minutes gets you in from Hillsborough to the Vista Ridge Tunnel. Rod?
And we have sun. You can see it on the cameras there, Chris. Thank you. Our forecast is dry today. That thunderstorm threat that's been ongoing has ended and actually shifted north of our region. 63 in Portland right now. Salem, a nice partly to mostly sunny start to your day. You are at 58. I've got Portland 77 at noon and then ending up like yesterday, right around 89 degrees for a high temperature. Winds will be on the light side, and that's your forecast.
Thank you, Rod.
I was like 2 seats away from the stained glass windows, so they were like, the shots were like right next to me. The first one I was like, what is that? I thought it was just something, then when I heard it again, I just ran under the pew, and then I covered my head. My friend Victor like saved me though, because he laid on top of me, but he got hit.
That 10-year-old is talking about the moment shots rang out at a Catholic school in Minneapolis yesterday morning. Thankfully, his friend Victor is expected to survive, but 2 children were killed. 17 other people were injured during the shooting, and the shooter killed themselves.
The FBI is investigating this as an act of domestic terrorism, and we're also learning more this morning about the shooter. Our sister station in Minneapolis has the latest.
Police say 23-year-old Robin Westman left these videos behind as a manifesto. They're rambling, violent, so much so that KARE 11 has blurred the imagery. There's footage of multiple firearms and ammunition. Words and phrases scrawled across the guns and magazines range from the names of other school shooters to threats against President Trump, along with racial slurs towards the Black and Jewish communities, and expressed hostility towards religion. In all, a lot of hate. The killer kept diaries, 2 notebooks, written in a conglomeration of the Russian Cyrillic alphabet and English. KARE 11's producer MJ speaks Russian and spent hours decoding parts of the diary.
So what this person did is took Russian alphabet letters and used them to write out the words in English. What I'm doing is translating these words letter by letter and based on a sound, trying to figure out what did he actually mean.
The translation reveals dated entries. On May 23rd, Robin describes an obsession with mass shootings, specifically school shootings that date back to 7th grade, and how talking about it scared other children and was reported to adults. A source close to Annunciation School tells KARE 11 in the year Robin went there were consistent disciplinary issues. The diaries contain a hand-drawn sketch showing what appears to be the layout of the church. KARE 11 has translated the caption, Annunciation from Memory.
Again, that was our sister station in Minneapolis assisting us with coverage this morning. Coming up here at 7:30, Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson will share details on the local response to this tragedy. Here's some other national headlines now with your morning rush. The Trump administration plans to take over management of Washington, D.C.'s Union Station. The Department of Transportation says this is part of President Trump's crime and beautification initiative. The travel hub has been run by Amtrak for just over a year now. Meanwhile, the NFL suspended Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice for 6 games for violating the league's personal conduct policy. A police report says Rice was driving a Lamborghini 119 miles an hour before causing a 6-car crash in Dallas last year. He did eventually turn himself in and was sentenced to 30 days in jail plus 5 years probation. The White House says it fired the director of the Centers for Disease Control, Susan Monterez, after she refused to resign. In a statement, a White House spokesperson said, quote, Susan Monterez is not aligned with the president's agenda of making America healthy again. At least 4 other senior leaders with the CDC resigned yesterday following that news. Monterez was President Trump's 2nd nominee to lead the CDC, and the Senate just confirmed her nomination 4 weeks ago. Last headline here, President Trump's crime crackdown in Washington, D.C. is costing an estimated $1 million a day. That estimate is based on the 2020 deployment and security experts who say the price tag covers pay and expenses for the more than 2,200 National Guard troops who are being deployed. It does not include other federal agencies. Officially, though, the Pentagon has not released any cost estimates. And that's a look at your morning rush.
Local lawmakers are reacting to comments from Labor Secretary and former Oregon Congresswoman Lori Chavez-DeRemer after she thanked President Donald Trump and the Attorney General at a cabinet meeting on Tuesday before calling for a crackdown in Portland.
Thank you for what you are doing with your agents on ICE, and thank you for the prosecution that I hope you will come to Portland, Oregon and crack down.
We've contacted Chavez-DeRemer's office several times for comment, but they haven't provided anyone for an interview or offered additional details about the kind of crackdown she's proposing. Senator Juan Wyden posted this on X saying, quote, it's bad enough to flatter the boss as a requirement for employment, but it's even worse to sell out your fellow Oregonians along the way. New photos from Central Oregon show some of the damage caused by the Flat Fire. It's burned more than 23,000 acres. Fire commanders say thunderstorms brought gusty winds and lightning yesterday, but they were able to keep working to mop up sections of the fire. They've also been focusing on extinguishing hot spots near homes, and evacuation levels have been downgraded in several areas.
The Emigrant Fire continues to burn in Central Oregon, forcing campsite, hiking trail, and road closures in the Willamette National Forest. Lightning sparked the fire back on Sunday in a remote area southeast of Eugene, about 30 miles outside of Oak Ridge. So far, it's burned about 7,400 acres and remains 0% contained. You can find more details on those closures we just mentioned on the Forest Service website.
Corvallis police released a map showing at least 8 cougar sightings around the city in just the last 2 weeks. They say most sightings have come from people walking trails or spotting the animals near their homes. If you see a cougar, officials want you to call police or Fish and Wildlife. And remember to stay alert in wooded areas, especially in the early morning and evening when cougars are most active.
All right, some bad news about the Beach Boys. The Beach Boys concert canceled here at the Oregon State Fair. Fair officials announcing that due to unforeseen circumstances, the band will not play as scheduled. Ticket holders will get a refund. They can also still get into the fair for free with their concert ticket. The Beach Boys also canceled other upcoming concerts, as well as the one in Spokane.
All right, your time now is 7:39. Let's take a look at weather with Rod Hill.
Yeah, nice day coming our direction. That shower thunderstorm threat has ended. The PDX observation officially from yesterday did include a morning thunderstorm remark that goes into the log. Anyway, we're done with all of that action as that low pressure system triggering that has moved up to our north. So here we are this morning, bright sunshine over Providence Park and looking at the West Hills. Kind of a partly to mostly sunny start to our day. Early morning number in Portland, 62 degrees. We have light winds once again. I haven't had much of a breeze all week. Not going to see one today either. 61 currently in Beaverton, Happy Valley, Sherwood's at 61 degrees. Anybody else? Anybody else? Nope, not on this map. Kaiser in the upper 50s and Salem at 58. Dallas, good morning to you. 56 is your early morning number. Toby's our KGW dog of the day. Beautiful close-up shot there. Use the email address. This is real simple. dogoftheday@kgw.com. Attach your dog's photo, their name, and send it our way, and your dog will be our dog of the day. There's Toby this morning. Forecast map for today. We have clouds and fog areas along the beaches right now. It looks like to me not a guaranteed clear out, but some areas certainly expected to get some afternoon sun. Temperatures will hold in the 60s. Generally upper 80s from Portland, Salem down to Eugene, hitting 91 in Madras, low 90s in the Dalles, and a chance of some showers popping later today out over the Blues, although none of that's really expected to amount to too much. Our 7-day forecast, 89 today, 90 tomorrow, so toasty afternoons. That shower chance on Saturday has diminished to really slight. We're probably going to end up with just some cloudiness and a cooler 81, and then Sunday 83, mostly sunny on Labor Day, Monday 86. So your holiday weekend looks to be good. All right, that's your forecast.
Rod, thanks for that. We pick it up with that traffic alert live in Salmon Creek. You can see a section of 20th Avenue remains closed as the Clark County Sheriff has an ongoing serious crash investigation right now. The road closure is about 5 blocks from 139th to 144th. So your traffic solution to get around this at this point is going to be maybe 10th Avenue to the west or 29th Avenue to the east. We've got a live crew on the scene. We will keep you updated on that. Back to the freeway drive. This is down in Wilsonville. I-5 northbound traffic actually getting a little bit busy on that side of town for sure. And of course, door number 2 as we check out the Sylvan Hill. The drivers are coming up over the hill and the sun's hitting them right in the eyes. So we've got the sunshine slowdowns on that side of town as well. So with that in mind, that trip in from Hillsborough, guys, it's jumped up to nearly 30 minutes to get you in from Brookwood Parkway to I-405. Back to you.
Hey, I'm Blair Best, and tonight at 6:30 on The Story, you filled our inbox with your thoughts on what's being done to manage safety concerns around the Central Library in downtown Portland. We'll share what you have to say and where things go from here. Watch The Story tonight live at 6:30 on KGW or anytime on our TV app, KGW+. Have a great morning, and I'll see you tonight.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW+. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW+. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
All right, let's talk a little college football here. The 7th-ranked Oregon Ducks kick off their season on Saturday at home against Montana State. Here's more on the season opener from head coach Dan Lanning.
I've been really happy with our guys' prep and the work you do. There's a lot of unknowns when you play in game one, right? You're going to see some stuff you haven't prepped for, right? You're going to see some stuff you haven't. And again, that's where rules have to take over, but I'm really happy with where they're at.
The Ducks are expected to cruise to victory in this one. They're 27.5-point favorites. Game time is set for 1 o'clock at Autzen Stadium. Meanwhile, the Oregon State Beavers will have a tougher test to open up their season when they host Cal Saturday night. Last year, Cal crushed the Beavers. Sorry to bring up this memory, but the final score last year was 44-7.
Woof.
But again, that was last year.
Last year, baby.
This is a new year.
New year.
You're watching film on teams and you go off of tendencies and you see people and like, oh, they have this guy, oh, they got this guy, this is what they did last year. You know, for us, we think about like what happened last year was last year. This is a new year, new team, new us.
That's what we said. Last year was last year.
Yeah.
This year is
This year.
All right, hey, the big bad Beavers taking on those cute, cuddly bears.
Cute.
Kickoff is set for 7:30 Saturday at Reser Stadium. You want more college football talk? We've got it for you tonight. Yeah, who's ready?
Me.
Who else?
I'm ready.
All right, the whole gang's ready. Orlando Sanchez, Art Edwards, they're going to take the big deep dive into the upcoming college football season with what they're calling Countdown to Kickoff. It airs tonight at 7 o'clock right here on KGW after the story.
Your time now is 7:46. Here's a look at some of your consumer headlines. Claire's has revealed a list of its stores that are closing as part of its Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Over 290 stores are on that list, including 9 stores in Oregon, one of which I went in last week, which is the one in Washington Square Mall. They're closing. It's about empty. Maybe they have a few items. It's next to free. Disney suing Sling TV over its new short-term streaming passes. Disney claims that the passes violate its licensing agreement. So Sling announced the one-day, weekend, and week-long passes earlier this month, starting at just $5. It gives users access to ESPN, Disney Channel, and more. Sling is marketing them as a way to catch one-off events without a long subscriptions. Seems fair. And the Powerball jackpot has claimed and climbed even higher after no one won last night. The next drawing is Saturday with a grand prize of $950 million or a lump sum of $428 before taxes. And while there was no grand prize winner, 6 tickets did win at least $1 million by matching all 5 white balls.
Darn it.
You have my word. If I win this weekend, I will give each of you and Chris McGinnis
$10.
a brand new crispy, $100 bill each.
Ooh. Thank you, Uncle Rodney.
Chris does not seem grateful. He's grumbling over there.
How many drawings in a row do you think you've bought a ticket for?
No, I haven't drawn I have not bought the last couple.
Okay.
I don't go, if I'm filling up my car with gas, that type of thing, I'll walk in and get one.
Okay.
I saw somebody buy it at the grocery store at Safeway yesterday, and the guy got his ticket, and then the next guy that walked up, he was like, "Good luck, man." He's like, "Good luck." I was like, "Wow,
bros
coming together."
Yep.
But did that guy
Over
buy
money?
another ticket though?
No.
Because then because I've seen people buy one and then they wish someone else good luck that's buying one. I'm like, that's really foolish. You don't want to wish that person good luck. If you just bought one yourself.
I think neighbors are just loving thy neighbors.
Okay, all right.
I think you might get struck by lightning.
Moving on.
Oh, that took a turn.
Just saying. Sometimes when people have good luck, sometimes they don't. Here's a look at a satellite picture offshore. This is the low spinning that we've been talking about that could produce some showers over the weekend on Saturday into Sunday. Confidence is building that we will not have any rain and perhaps not even at the coast, but we will get some cloudiness on Saturday thrown our way. And that will play a role in our weekend temperatures being a little bit more comfortable than like 89 is what we hit yesterday. The low, the reason for the last couple of days seeing thunderstorm activity has shifted up to our north. And with that said, the rain around it is mostly on the north side of it. So that's gone out of our region and we have a nice looking day coming. Now, we are seeing fog and low clouds up and down all of the coastal areas right now, 58 degrees. Looks to me like some areas Could get some sun developing, but other areas may stay cloudy. Here's a zoomed in view of Mount Hood and kind of the shrinking Palmer snowfield that you certainly get this time of the year. Never used to get that really at all, but we're seeing it more and more now. Temperature up there is 55 degrees. Winds are light. Here's Camas Meadows Golf Course over on the east side, of course, and it is mostly sunny, light winds. It's going to be a beautiful day to be out and about, especially this morning. This afternoon will warm up a little bit. So still got kids getting out to the bus stop on this early 7 o'clock hour. 65 degrees on average out there, 77 noontime recess. We'll be outdoors, the sunshine. It'll be about 87 when the kids get out around that 3 o'clock hour. Here are the temperatures with dry weather across all of Oregon right now. 59 cloudy up in Astoria, but everybody else inland anyways reporting at least some sun. Bend 57, Pendleton 60 degrees this morning. Futurecast, a couple things to look at. Kind of a frivolous chance of maybe a few showers, not much expected out across the Blues today. Low cloudiness backing off parts of the coastal areas. Here's tomorrow morning a new resurgence of some low clouds and fog along the beaches. That basically is expected to back off during the day. Some more shower chances out across the Blues tomorrow. And then this is the cooler weather for your weekend. This is Saturday. That low with the rain and green is way out there. So if this is correct, we get some cloudiness Saturday, but no rain, and that will help lead to some cooler temperatures. So that's what's coming up. Valley forecast for today, upper 80s. Could see a few spots make it to 90. I mean, again, PDX was 89 yesterday. You folks in Salem, I think, stopped at 87 yesterday. 88 in Battleground today. Shower chance is generally north. I was including a slight shower chance up in Cowlitz County this morning, but the rain so far has been even north of you. 89, 90 today, tomorrow. The shower chance on Saturday is almost completely gone. So I would expect at this point a dry Labor Day weekend. 86 on Labor Day Monday. And here is Chris McGinnis.
Thanks for that. Let's take you back down to Wilsonville. There is your I-5 northbound commute from Wilsonville Road up into Tualatin, really puttering along on that stretch of I-5 northbound. That's normal for this hour of a Thursday morning commute. Also, as we go over to the west side, we had an earlier report of a crash on 217 in the Progress area heading northbound up near Shoals Ferry. I don't see it anymore, but certainly we've got some little extra northbound slowing on that side of town. And let's hop over to Clackamas, because just now popping up on our radar is a crash on 212 westbound out of Damascus. This is near 142nd Avenue, and I'll step out of the way. You can see quite a backup starting to form on that. Again, that's Highway 212 westbound, lining up for a good 2 miles now, trying to get around that crash scene near 142nd Avenue. Here's a quick look at the Banfield. Interstate 84 busy, of course, and your drive in from Troutdale is up to 27 minutes to get you to the I-5 split. China?
Thank you, Chris. It's not fall yet, but we're close, and here's proof. Aside from the pumpkin spice coffee creamer I'm drinking right now, the corn maze at the Pumpkin Patch on Sauvie Island opens this Saturday. A sneak peek at this year's maze design and other things you can do this weekend coming up when Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues in 2 minutes.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
I'm Christine Pitawanich. The weekend is coming up fast, and if you're looking for fun stuff to do, here are a few ideas. We'll start with a whole weekend of fun planned for the Reggae Rise Up Oregon Festival. From Friday through Sunday, you can camp out on the Deschutes County Fairgrounds and watch a show from one of the more than 30 featured artists. Heads up though, tickets are a bit pricey for this one, starting at $84 for a single-day general admission ticket. For more information, head to the Reggae Rise Up website. And for something a bit slower paced, maybe, why not check out the Cornlandia Corn Maze at the Pumpkin Patch on Sauvie Island. This year, the maze theme is a tribute to a wild harvest, nature, nostalgia, and Northwest pride. So it features an elk, salmon, of course, a beaver too. You can also swing by their produce market, you pick berry fields, and also pet some animals at the barn. For full details, head to the Pumpkin Patch's website. And for our shoppers out there, the Portland Flea Market returns this weekend. It's happening this Sunday at the Red on Salmon Street. The market hosts more than 90 local vendors selling everything from vintage clothing to handcrafted home goods. It'll take place from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. and it is free to attend. Check out pdxflea.com for more information. And for more weekend inspiration, you can check out the 8 Things to Do article up each week at kgw.com.
In our top stories this morning, a woman is recovering after being shot in the leg late last night in Wood Village. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office says she knew the suspect, who took off after the shooting. Deputies locked down part of Gleason Street using canines and a drone to search a heavily wooded area where they believe the suspect is hiding. In Northwest Portland, surveillance video shows a stabbing suspect pacing outside as officers surround his home. Police say that man stabbed 2 people yesterday morning, then hid inside the home for several hours before he eventually surrendered. A neighbor says the suspect got into a confrontation with people living in tents on the street. And in an update this morning, 2 men are dead after separate shootings in Salem yesterday morning. Police say a 30-year-old man